Are live yet again. Welcome back to the Field Generals. I am, of course, your host, Josh Carroll. We are currently waiting on Lord Drucifer. He might be sleeping, who knows, but hopefully he's okay. If he comes in, he comes in. If not, show must go on. But he is right now dearly missed. In the meantime, though, it's a very special episode today. The season 2 finale, NFL draft special. I got my special guests with me, hosts of Brains and Bars on YouTube. Go subscribe to them. Introduce yourself in the middle.
Yo, this is A1. You can call me Carlos. You can also call me Dan. Like JC said, man, you can follow us on Twitter at Brains and Bars. Check out the YouTube at Brains and Bars. Wherever you find a good podcast, you can also find us there at Brains and Bars or It's a Black and White Thing. Happy to be here, man.
In fact, glad to have you guys on here. And to the far right.
Well, since you're giving me the battle rap introduction, it's A Ward, Team Dot Daily, YTG Horseman, Drosey's in the building, Shout out to my brother Cannon97, A Ward, man. One half of, It's a Black and White Thing, hashtag Brains and Bars. Make sure you follow us, man. We definitely enjoy being on your show. Thank you for the invite. Anytime we can get together, talk to sports, and hang out with a peer, a talented person like yourself and your co-host, man. We appreciate
it. Yeah, thank you so much, my bro. Appreciate you coming on here.
You already know.
So let's just get right to it, though. It is that time of the year for football fans. The NFL draft is shortly looming, starting this Thursday. It is certainly the talk of the town for some of the prospects. And I got the big board pulled up right now. So this is according to PFF. We got Caleb Williams, MHJ. I'm going over the top 10 for the record.
Yep.
Drake May, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Rome Dunzy, Brock Bowers, Cooper, the white quarterback, Quinyon Mitchell. Why you sound like that one player for the Seahawks that played that while back, Lofa Tatupu?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great name drop, Lofa Tatupu. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and then Jerzon Newton. Shout out Illini all day.
The other orange.
Shout out Tennessee. But yeah, my Bears, of course, have the number 1 pick. And I can see if I can pull up the exact.
They have the number 9 pick too.
Yeah. I feel like the Bears themselves are primed for a good draft. But that being said, I still think that they trade down the number 1 pick.
No, they're not trading it down. They're not trading it down, Josh.
I mean, me personally, I just don't like Caleb Williams. I just feel like his personality as a whole is a huge turnoff for me. As good a player he may be projected to be, it's how you carry yourself that really sells you for me.
Really? That rhymed too.
I mean,
we shout out Chris Smooth.
I mean, like I understand that the way that Caleb carries himself. So let me ask you, how old are you? How old are you, JC?
28.
28. So you are probably in the same generation as Caleb, right? Because you're probably about 4 or 5, about 7, 8 years apart.
Yeah.
So he's probably on the far end. I think you guys are Generation Alpha. As a millennial, right? I am an older millennial. And the way that an older millennial carries himself is not necessarily the way that a younger millennial will carry themselves. That being said,
true.
Yes, Caleb has some he can move in some interesting ways at times, kick it in some ways that maybe purebred football fans may not rock with. But I think Caleb, from everything I've heard from the people who covered the USC Trojans, he was a leader in that locker room. He was respected in that locker room. And I think he will not have an issue at the next level. Like, I don't see him being like, I'm going to pick on Jay Cutler. I don't see him being a Jay Cutler type guy. Yeah, no, that didn't work at all. So, I think he's a guy, like I said, I think he's going to come in. One, he's coming into a place that's going to have a veteran laden offense, right? With the moves they made and getting
Keenan Allen.
Allen, DJ Moore.
I love that move.
Yeah. So he's going to come in. He's going to have some veterans who are going to be able to work with him, help mold and shape him. But I think he's going to come in day one and be a guy that the city of Chicago can be proud of. Even if sometimes he may move in some ways. You'd be like, bro, what you on right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because honestly, my thinking before Fields was traded was that they would trade down to at least number 2 and get a haul and then get MHJ and then get like an offensive lineman or so at number 9. But now,
I honestly like Justin Fields. I'm not I wasn't anti Justin Fields,
Neither was I.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe they're definitely not trading down now, because I think the only reason to trade down was if you were to keep Justin Fields and, like you said, grab MHJ and a couple other guys or whatever. But man, they are a team that's very, very seldomly are the number 1 pick. The teams that are picking number 1 set up to succeed. They're normally like the worst teams, and it's like you come in and you're like, back in the days when guys were going to the Browns and there was just like the quarterback killer. You know what I mean? Like you can't win, so you get traded. Yeah. But like the Bears are set up to, like, if he can come in there and play. And I just also think that he's better than the other 3 that are there. He's to me, he's clearly better than the other 3. And so when you need a quarterback, you can't take the chance on, I think Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and JJ McCarthy could all be busts.
And let's not forget Michael Penix either.
Yep.
But even at that, I do sort of agree with your sentiment. But because with those 4, we don't exactly know what their true ceiling or is, despite the years that they put up with their respective schools.
Yeah.
Let's see, Rock, shout out Cash from Raw Talent. He says Caleb Williams, Jalen Daniels, and then he don't know what New England going to do at number 3. I mean, first 2 essentially are sort of locks to me, and then really, it's a wild card from there. You don't really know what any particular team is going to address first. At least it's not the top 5.
I don't know how much you believe the reports of JJ McCarthy allegedly being the 2nd overall pick. I think it's the media trying to create storylines.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think something that could be a possible storyline is Drake May going number 2 overall to Washington, and then Jaden potentially falling to number 3 to the Patriots. I know they had like the I don't know if y'all are old enough to remember Eliminate, but Eliminate was like a speed dating reality TV show where you get
Eliminate.
Yeah, you get on the bus.
I never seen it.
Yeah, so Eliminate works. You get on the bus. You got 4 women, and you just kind of like you talk to them while you're on this bus, and you literally start eliminating them on the ride. So if one of them's done, you kick them, they stop, get off the bus. Right. And at the end of the night, you end up with one woman that you decide you want to go out on this date with. So they had like Washington had like an eliminate where they had 4 of the top quarterback prospects. I believe it was Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and JJ McCarthy all in town to meet with the owner and have dinner with the owner. And so there's some talk that Jaden was not too happy about that. There's also reports of Jaden that he wants to go to Las Vegas is his preferred destination. So, maybe there might be some intrigue at number 2 where maybe Washington doesn't take Jaden. They go with Drake May, and then the game truly begins at that point of what does New England do, right?
Yeah. I can see that because they essentially need a quarterback period after they just traded Sam Howell. I mean, I feel like Howell was in the same situation as Justin Fields was. Like he he was still a good quarterback regardless. But clearly, they're thinking bigger with their future and wanting a more solidified thing at this point in their team's rebuild. And Raiders getting Michael Penix, I could see that actually. I could see it because I think left-handed quarter. Wait, wasn't Rich Gannon left-handed? Or am I bugging?
I'm gonna look that up. I feel
That's a good
like
question.
Rich was right-handed, but you might be right. He might have been left-handed. Let me see.
I can see the Vikings trading for JJ at number 5 with the Chargers. That might actually be a good move for them because I feel like the two JJs that if that would
The two JJs. Okay, I see you. Bars, Justin Jefferson and JJ. Let's go.
Yeah, honestly, the media would hype that a lot if that were to happen. I could see that would be a good move for them.
Look, I think Justin Jefferson, not McCarthy. I think if they draft JJ McCarthy, he's got like 4 games to prove himself. And then if he's not proving himself, then Jordan Jefferson's gonna be like, "Hey man, hit the road, Jack. You gotta get me up out of here."
I mean, just 4 games though. It's quite a lot of pressure to prove you're more clutch than Kirk Cousins.
I mean, well, if one they let Kirk walk, right, and if you're going to trade up into the top 5 to go and get JJ McCarthy, yeah, like you better be good because you're giving up first round draft picks. I think obviously they're going to try to trade that 23rd pick, but I think you're going to also have to come up a first round draft pick probably next year. And if not a first round, a second rounder to get all the way up to number 5, because I think right now the Vikings sit at 11 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I got the board up right now. Let's see, yep, they sit at 11.
So I mean, like to go from 11 to 5 or even to 4, right? Like you're going to have to give up quite an impressive haul. And so, like if I'm Jordan or Justin Jefferson, I don't have another year to wait. One, he hasn't been paid. He's extension eligible. So I'm not going to sit here and play for pennies when my value is probably in the $25 to $30 million range. Yeah. Get me up out of here, get me to a contender, or get me to someone who's going to pay me. And I can figure out the rest from there.
Yeah, because there's obviously no question that he's the best receiver in the league. Damn near. Like you can debate on like the top 5, but there's no question he's one of the best receivers in the league. Period. So yeah, they would essentially have to figure out things fast, and with that perspective, I do agree with you. And who do they got? Darnold right now. Who? Cash the Vikings. I mean, Sam Darnold's in a rough place in his career, and if he is with hold on, I can double check that real quick.
Yeah, he's with the Vikings.
Oh yeah, he's with the Vikings. Yep,
and he's with them for $10 million too. So like, for some reason they felt, I don't know what it was, but whenever Kirk Cousins got hurt, like they only gave those guys 4 games, if that, like I think Dobbs came in and got 3 or 4, and then the other kid came in from Mississippi State. What's his name? Or was he Texas A&M?
I think it was Texas.
Nate Mullins. I think he played at Mississippi State.
Nick Mullins. Southern Miss.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought he played at one of the other 2.
Nope, Southern Miss. And by the way, Rich Gannon is right-handed. Nick Mullins was I know.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking of someone else.
The only reason I know Nick Mullins played at Southern Miss was because he played for the Niners.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but they only gave those guys a few games, to kind of gel with that, and then they kind of push them to the side. But
yep, Jaron Hall got a shot. He was from BYU, and then
and he was rookie last year.
Yep,
right.
Yep.
And frankly, all Bears bias aside, I feel like all the Vikings really need is a quarterback that can really lead them into the future, but because the rest of their team is very solid.
They were good with Kirk Cousins before the injury. They could have ended up in the playoffs, and then once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. So yeah, I just think the big thing too is like the NFC is pretty wide open. Outside of like the 49ers, I think there's not really like somebody that's like that guy. I think the AFC is more like you're gonna see the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Ravens. Like we already know they got their quarterbacks, and that's probably what it's going to come down to, one of those four teams. But outside of the Niners, with the Eagles falling off heavily, and the Cowboys, not really knowing what the Cowboys want to do ever, and like teams like Chicago, teams like the Vikings, teams like the Falcons, these teams are like, yo, Packers, yeah, they're like, all it's gonna take is one good year. We can get there, and we can luck up and find our way into an NFC Championship game.
What do the Broncos do at 12? That's a
They're
good
probably
question.
gonna take another quarterback after they got 4 terrible ones right now.
I mean, Brock Bowers, maybe.
So I say this, right? It depends, right? Because I think there are reports of them wanting to be super aggressive. I saw a report that they potentially would give up Patrick Surtain along with that 12th pick to be able to jump up into that top 5 to go get JJ McCarthy. Yeah, one of the top 4. So if they are not able, I would say
that would be a horrible trade though, because then you lose a key piece of your secondary. And especially on a team that desperately needs a decent defense, apart from really the Broncos need everything. So really they should keep all their young assets they have, and if you trade somebody like Patrick Surtain, who can easily be a great quarterback in the league when he's really on his A game and healthy, that would be essentially mortgaging part of your future, and the Broncos shouldn't be risking that.
It's called the Patrick Mahomes effect. That's what it's called. When you are in a division with Patrick Mahomes, you don't have time to sit back and let Jarrett Stidham go 3-14 and Sean Payton get fired and then look for another coach while you're looking for another quarterback. Like they'd be like, you know what? Let's get rid of Patrick Surtain. We're not gonna have to pay him here in a couple years now. Let's grab something. It's a weird time we're in with people just reaching for.
I could see them going Brock Bowers. I could see them potentially, because they've already traded away Jerry Jeudy. I could see them. I get it. Like you have the big 3 of Neighbors, Odunze, and Marvin Harrison Jr. But I could see them also going for a wide receiver too, to replace what they lost in Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. Because really, the class itself is kind of stacked across all positions. So I think it's anyone's game in terms of where they go, like we were talking about, and now that you mention it, yeah, they obviously have to find a new number 1 in place of Jerry Jeudy, which he wasn't really proven to be a number 1 to begin with.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Cortland Sutton is still there or no?
I mean, yeah, but he's in constant rumors of being traded, so he's still there, and that's why I say, like, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy.
Yes, he's still there. Yeah.
So I could see any one of those. I could see them potentially reaching and grabbing a wide receiver, because I don't know what Sean Payton has against the current players, but he doesn't seem to like them that much. Like especially some of the skill position players, he's always trying to get rid of them. So we'll see.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson for sure.
I mean, Sean Payton has proved in a very short time not to be a good fit with the Broncos. Period. So let's be real. Let's be real. If you're constantly putting the current system you have down, trying to figure out your game plan literally mid-game without making the proper adjustments, then what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of hurt his legacy. I believe, just in the last few years.
Kind of like, never mind. I was about to say something flagrant. Never mind.
Don't hold back, A1. Don't hold back.
Not our podcast.
Oh, matter of fact, kind of like Charlie Clips. I don't want to derail the conversation. Speaking of hurting their legacy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Guess what room I'm in?
The basement. because your team stinks.
The draft room.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Hey, what? Once I sit you down with this wide screen, you can get the call.
Let's go. Let's go. So what do the Bears do at 9? They don't need a receiver, but did you see you saw the tweet, Caleb Williams talking about Rome Odunze on his flight, and oh, okay, this might be, a pick there at 9. Do they go receiver? I mean, they got, they're pretty decent at receiver right now.
Part of me wants them to go O-line.
They got Darnell Wright last year.
Yeah, it's just one piece of the puzzle though. Like the rest of the unit needs to come together as a whole, and not to mention that we just cut Whitehair, so we're down a man in terms of that starting group. I feel like we just need the group that we had late in the year, they were really gelling together, and I feel like they made a lot of strides. But I feel like we need a more cohesive unit going forward.
Yeah.
Especially if we do end up drafting Caleb Williams, he's going to need that protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We in my opinion, we have a good enough receiver room to hold us over for a year or two. No question. Especially if we're going to really go all in with this championship window that we want to achieve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, I kind of want to reverse the question back to you two though. What do you think they should do now?
I say they should. I agree with you. I think they should go O-line. I feel like O-line is something they've been working on. Right? They got Tevin. They picked up Tevin Jenkins a couple of years ago. I believe he's working at one of the guard spots. Right? They have Darnell Wright at right tackle right now.
Yes.
And so I think Joe Alt won't be there unless they trade up. They could try to pull what Houston did, right? Houston got C.J. Stroud at number 2, then turned around and traded up to get Will Anderson. Maybe they holler at let's just say Arizona and say, "Yo, we want to go from 9 to 4, right? We want to go from 9 to 4, and we want to go up and get Joe Alt, get the best tackle on the board." I think Olu Fashanu is going to be up there. Talise Fuaga is going to be there. So I think, those are a couple of the names that if they decide to go offensive tackle to try to solidify that left side and get somebody to protect his blind side, those are a couple of names that I could see them potentially going with that 9.
Yeah,
what you think, Ward?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure what they need on the defensive, like as a defensive back, but sitting at 9, that Quinyon Mitchell or is Quinyon Mitchell, is he the one from Toledo or from Illinois?
Toledo. Yeah.
Okay, and then who's the kid from Illinois? Is the Illinois kid a defensive lineman or a defensive back?
Yeah. Newton is a tackle, D tackle.
Okay, yeah. So I can see Quinyon Mitchell being a possibility there. I could also see them trading back a little bit too from 9. If somebody wants to come up and grab that, trading back, and then if you're not going to get Joe Alt, there's probably a couple guys next with Amarius Mims and JT.
J.C. Latham.
J.C. Latham. With Amarius, you might be able to get in the 15-16 range. You know what I mean? So if Alt's gone, I could see him trading that 9 back and then still grabbing that offensive tackle a little later and picking up some more picks.
Yeah. I like the way y'all think, and really those scenarios are definitely doable for the Bears for sure. We do gotta land this plane though. So thank you guys again for coming on. I can't wait to start. It's gonna be one hell of a show. Like really, it's anyone's game, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Thank you, A1. Thank you, A-Ward. This has been season 2 of Field Generals. Tune in, I'd say after preseason for sure, because then we'll be, previewing the offense and defense and going from there. Yeah, thank y'all again. Josh Carroll, A1, A-Ward.
Appreciate you,
Peace,
JC.